matagal na kayo dito sa Amerika or may mga kamag-anak kayo sa Pilipinas na nahihirapan po na makakuha ng permanent status dito or nahihirapan kayo maging US citizen or you think you just need change in your life, have you ever considered going to Canada instead? We talk about that quite regularly here on the show at kasama na naman po natin straight from Toronto, Canada, Attorney Henry Moyales, Canadian immigration lawyer na partner po ng Kababayan LA. Hello once again. Welcome to LA and welcome to Kababayan LA.
Thank you for having me again on the show.
Attorney Henry Moyales is here to talk to us about some of the changes in immigration law in Canada. And what are those significant changes, Henry?
Well, if you remember the last few times I've been here, we spoke about the Fast Track Immigration Program. So it's a program where if a person has work experience in an occupation that's in demand in Canada, they'll be fast-tracked. They can become permanent residents in about 10 to 12 months.
Okay.
So the changes that came out last month, that they've changed the occupation list. So if you remember, or some of your viewers remember that in November of 2008, there was a list of occupations that if you had work experience in for 1 year in one of those occupations, then you would qualify.
And that list consisted of what, 32 jobs?
There were 38 type of occupations.
Okay, okay, and then?
So now last month they've changed the occupations. Not only did they change it, but they reduced it down to 29 occupations.
Wow, so 29, from 38 to 29, there were 9 occupations that were taken off the list. What were those? Do you have any idea?
Well, not only they were taken off, accountants were taken off, the engineers were taken off, things in the computer field were taken off.
Okay.
But the good news is that they've added some. So some they took off and they've added some. The good news is dentists are on the list now. They weren't before. Pharmacists are on the list. Architects are on the list.
Okay, say for example I'm an accountant and I already filed my documents. Am I still counted in that, or?
Yes, if you
so
filed,
it's valid.
Yeah, if you filed already, then you're okay. You're under the old laws. But if you
are still filing,
if you're collecting your documents and you didn't file yet, you have to wait till the law changes. You're out of luck if you're an accountant.
So that means you can't go to Canada anymore. Like you can't migrate there anymore.
We have to wait till the list changes. So that's important. That the law changes without notice at any time.
And what are the chances that it will anytime soon?
Well, they just changed it last month. They're not going to change it anytime soon. But also it's good to remember that doctors, dentists, CNAs, cooks, chefs, they're still on the list. So the most popular occupations are still there. And they've added some, I would say, some good ones, especially for Filipinos who are very educated and skilled. So dentists, architects, nurses, doctors, they're still on the list. And that's very important to remember.
What about the quota? Is there a quota in terms of Canadian immigration visas?
That's another change that they made last month. For the first time, Canada's actually put a specific quota, similar to the U.S. immigration, to say that for this occupation, only 20,000 visas are going to be issued under the occupation in demand list. So after the 20,000, you're going to have to wait for another year. So every year, they will issue only 20,000 visas.
That's 20,000 for the whole list, right?
That's right, for the whole list. So the bottom line is, what I take from the new changes is that if you have an occupation and it's on the list, and it's in demand in Canada, apply now. Apply sooner rather than later, because number one, the law can change, the list can change, and number two, you may be 20,001. You may be outside the quota, and you won't be able to apply for this year.
Right. Now, you know what? Okay, in U.S. immigration, there are dates to consider, there are months to consider. Say, for example, if you're applying for H-1B visa, which is a work visa, you have to wait, apply, you submit it in April or something like that. It comes out in October. Is there such a thing in Canadian immigration? So schedules and then when to file, months to file?
Well, not months. Well, it's every 1 year period. So the law just came out actually June 26 of 2010.
Okay.
So from June 26, 2010 until June 30th of 2011 is the 1 year block.
Okay.
So within that 1 year, they're issuing only 20,000 visas.
And I know that what you do is you encourage people to go on your website. It's what your website?
The website is www.moyal.com. In the first page, you'll see free assessment form. There's a whole form there to complete. Submit all your credentials and submit it to us for a free assessment.
Okay, and you assess them whether they're eligible or not. What makes one not eligible to apply?
Well, there's many factors, but number one, as we've been discussing, is the occupation. So if someone, for example, is a secretary for 10 years, secretary is not on the list. So they are not qualified currently under the regulations. It's not a case that I would take.
Right. And you mentioned earlier they have to have a year of experience in that occupation?
In one of the 29 occupations.
Okay. So what if, for example, and this is very common among Filipinos, you graduate with a degree in something and then you work as something else?
That's fine.
That's fine.
It's the work experience that counts. So if you graduate as a nurse, for example, but you've been working for the past 5 years as a CNA, that's fine because CNA is on the list.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead, invite our viewers to try out. Why should we go to Canada?
Canada has free healthcare, free education. It's safe. We don't really get involved in politics. It's a country that needs immigrants. Actually, there are 250,000 immigrants every year that come to Canada. Just the 20,000 is for this specific fast-track immigration category.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for talking to us today. That's the number on the screen if you have any more questions, but we encourage you to go to the website, www.moyal.com and fill out the free assessment form. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
More power.
Thank you.
Magbabalik pa po ang Kababayan LA. Don't go away.
There's only one place in the world that can provide you with free healthcare, free education, and exceptional job opportunities. Whether you are a professional worker, nurse, nanny, or business person, with or without status in the USA, we can make your dream come true.
Hi, I'm attorney Henry Moyal with over 15 years of Canadian immigration law experience. We have processed thousands of immigration visas to live and work in Canada. We can help you. For a free consultation, call us 1-888-VISA-078.
Oh, yeah, you want water, we're the ones that